This is a quick follow-up to the previous video I did about this fight. There were a number of people in the comment section saying that the WBC have moved the cruiserweight division limit from 200 pounds back down to 190 pounds as it was originally prior to 2004. So I immediately came on to the WBC website, as you can see here, had a look around, and I cannot find any confirmation of this. All I've been able to find is this ESPN article by Mike Coppinger, who says that this is what the WBC are going to do. However, Boxing Scene wrote a similar article a year ago. This was November 13th, 2020, saying that the WBC are set to lower the cruiserweight limit to 190 pounds. But this did not happen in the past year, despite what Boxing Scene reported. How do I know this? Well, we can look at the WBC ratings, and this was most recently updated in October, so last month. As you can see here, the heavyweight division starts at 224 pounds or 101.605 kilos. The bridgerweight limit is 224, and the cruiserweight limit is still listed on the WBC's website in their own ratings at 200 pounds. So, if the WBC actually have made this change, then they haven't yet reflected it on their website, and there's no knowing whether the change will come into effect before or in time for the Canelo Alvarez Ilunga Makabu fight. And the reason why so many people are jumping on this and saying that it's significant is because they believe that Makabu will be drained against Canelo if the WBC move the division limit back down to 190. Well, I disagree. Makabu, as I explained in my original video, is a small cruiserweight. This is not a guy who has to drain himself to make weight. This is a guy who regularly weighs in well under the cruiserweight division limit. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, somebody like Maris Breedis or Usyk when he was still fighting at cruiserweight, or even Lawrence Okolie, they are in the ring on fight night probably weighing at least 210 pounds. They are on the scales prior weighing what, 199, bang on 200 pounds, sometimes 198. They are only losing or dehydrating as much as they absolutely have to. They're not going dramatically over that. So a guy who's trying to make 200 pounds and he's walking around at 210, he's not going to dehydrate 15 or 16 pounds, is he? No, he's only going to dehydrate just enough to make weight. Because why would you dehydrate 16 pounds when you don't only need to dehydrate 11 pounds? You see it. Whereas Ilunga Makabu coming in 197, 196, 194, 193, this is not indicative of somebody who is dehydrating themselves to get on the scales. No, this is indicative of somebody who at 193 is actually walking around fully hydrated at 193. So when he's in the ring on fight night, he's around 193. And that was back in 2015. Since then, yeah, he's a bit heavier, but not dramatically so. He's still coming in for most of his fights well under the cruiserweight division limit. And so I don't think he's going to have any serious problem making 190 if indeed the WBC drop the cruiserweight division limit back down to that by the time the Canelo fight rolls around. I don't think he's going to be drained or anything. Makabu is one of the few fighters in boxing who will actually be able to eat normally throughout training camp. He's not having to watch his calories the way most cruiserweights and most other fighters who have to make a division limit have to. So I don't see him being drained. I don't see him being weakened. I don't see any issue here at all. However, moving forward for cruiserweights in general, it is going to be interesting to see what happens with the other sanctioning bodies, whether they decide to drop their division limits down to 190 pounds as well. Because if they don't, then it could fracture the division, whereby you've got the WBA, IBF, and WBO saying that cruiserweight is the limit of 200 pounds, the WBC saying it's 190, and therefore how are you going to do unifications? Lawrence Okolie was talking about unifying with Makabu and Breidis and trying to become undisputed. That's not going to be possible for him if the WBC moved the limit down to 190, because there is no way that Lawrence Okolie is making 190 pounds. But as for Ilunga Makabu, it won't be a problem. Anyway, catch you in the next vid.